thank everybody being here tonight. We won't see you until after spring break. So everybody enjoy and I hope it's a warm one. May I have a motion now to approve the closed and open sessions of February 16th of 2026 and the closed session minutes of February 12th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second. Second. Any corrections? All in favor? Dr. Hall?
Okay, I'd like to recognize Ms. Caldwell on our safety update.
Good evening. So right now, all schools are in compliance with our safety drills. With March, we've had a busy month, and we'll have shelter in place, which is tornado drill, which is fitting for what happened last week. An evacuation drill, also known as our fire drill, and a lockdown drill. So that's happening in March at every school. Our current safety projects we are working on is weight room cameras and keyless entry. That should be done by this week for the new weight room. And then also we're obtaining a proposal. Actually, Paul and I are going to go up there and meet with Indy Haynes to talk about installing security cameras at the baseball and softball fields. So those are two items we're looking at right now. Due to the state budget delay, we are awaiting safety equipment funding. I keep saying that every meeting. But in the meantime, we are looking at individual projects that I'm working with schools to say, what do we need to do that's immediate that we might get funding for. And then the SRO grant should be open this spring so that we can make sure that we have SROs in every school. So hopefully that will be a reoccurring fund that I can write a grant for and we'll get those going.
Very good, thank you very much. With the academic calendar, you still want to say anything?
Do you want me to share anything else about the calendar? I think
Any other comments on the calendar?
Good.
Okay, that will be on the consent agenda then for vote. Lisa, if you'd share with an update with the SERV grant, please.
Yeah, I'll do that really quickly. We were excited about the SERV grant because what we did was we went ahead and had the SERV grant 1.2 million for this school year, and then the funding was cut off for that in June of 2026. We had June, a specific cutoff date. So what we did was we tried to say, can we, what we haven't spent, can we carry that on into the next fiscal year? She said if it's $10,000 or something like that, then they could, or it would have to go up and we would have to get approval for that. So we said, no, we would love to carry over our funding instead of just try to spend that, because personnel is where it matters most, and we would love to have some personnel. So what we did was we had data points to reflect the amount of help that it had generated. We didn't have test data, but what we did have, Susan, what was the name of that one report? The
SIS reports, student information support plan is part of our plan, and teacher, social workers, guidance counselors, nurses, principals can add to that, and they add data to that weekly, daily sometimes.
Yeah.
We use that data.
So what we did was we made a chart that had from last year to this year, and that's not in there, that was just what I emailed to her, to show how the progress we had made with all of those pieces. So luckily, we didn't get additional funding for that, but we're gonna be able to carry over about $240,000, which is so exciting because I definitely want our counselors, social workers, that is the biggest need we have, to be sustainable. So principals are gonna be so excited with that one, we're gonna sustain where we're at. You know, so because everybody signed to that, so counselors, social workers, we're gonna try to sustain a couple of those. Michael's not saying we're all of those, but we've got probably a couple of, watching Mike, they're shaking his head. And then my hope is to have a couple or 2 or 3 part-time tutors so that we can bring those back in to do all of the wonderful things that we're gonna see. If we don't do it this year, next year we're gonna have the #1 growth in the state. That's going to be one of the things that we want to say is we're growing our kids the highest or the most of anybody in the whole state. So.
And you did get the carryover approved?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So excited for that. So excited. So yes, we did. All right. Yeah, this was exciting. I wish we could have more, but
Yeah,
we didn't.
that's
They didn't allow me to write for more. I'm right.
Well, sometimes you're in these grants and you have to rush at the very end to spend
Yeah.
the resources. You know, this way we can take our time and then put it exactly where it needs to go. So it's great that you had those negotiations and got.
Yeah, that's why we started in
Yeah.
February with that,
Really
because
good.
we knew we had time to maybe talk about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted y'all to hear an update on our 10,000 books read challenge. We put that out there earlier in the year. I think it's a very exciting goal for us as a district. Susan's been tracking. Of course, the principals have been very vigilant, and a lot of folks have been involved. It's really exciting. but kids have read a lot of books this year, which is great. I think y'all reached your goal like in the first 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, they really took
I mean,
it.
yeah, but it's really great to hear. So Susan, please,
Yeah.
please share this.
So I think you guys have the flyer in your packet, so if you wanna pull that out and look on. So the way this came about, so for the 2025 to 2030, I'll get that out, strategic plan that was set by Mo Green, our state superintendent, his goal is that the North Carolina students would read 10 million books annually. Now, I don't know that we could reach 10 million books, I mean, I have big dreams, but, that initiative focuses around that science of reading, all the letters training that we've been doing, so that was the focus. So, to follow suit, you know, we're gonna do our part, and so we decided that, as a district, we wanted to read 10,000 books. So, gosh, that's a lot of books, but to really, you know, make that happen, I knew our kids could do it. We're reading all the time with our new arts and letters, and so I met with principals, all admin, we sat down, and that kind of equates to about 5 books per student in Madison County Schools. And so when we sat down and we had this conversation, you know, the principals, and they go with me down these rabbit holes I go on all the time, and they're wonderful and amazing, and they just make it happen. But they have if you go into any of the schools, you will see a reading meter. You should be, as you walk in the door, somewhere on the campus. And so they took that and they, you know, got teachers excited about it, got students excited about it, and they set goals based on how many students they had. And that's what we'll go over in just a second. And so every student received a reading log, and it looked like this. And you probably, if you have a child, grandchild, you probably even saw them or maybe heard them talk about this. And so principals, teachers jumped on board. We got kids reading. It was a big kickoff. And so from there, you can see that we've been tracking that. And kids got really, really excited about it. And you can see Brush Creek Elementary, their goal was 1,830 books. Now, this was not a school competition. It wasn't like Hot Springs was, it was just can we read 10,000 books as a district? And you see that Brush Creek has well surpassed that goal. It's 2,959 books. So, you know, they got super excited. Kids were reading. I saw kids running down the hall with their bookmarks because their names got announced on the intercom. They were just really, really proud. And it became, I've been in classrooms where the whole bulletin board is set up with like books we have read. You can see Madison Middle School, their goal was 1,275, and they surpassed that goal with 1,574. And we were worried about like middle school, high school, would they jump on board with this? And they did. And I mean, they've been great with it. So, Hot Springs Elementary, their goal was 530, and you can see that they've read 2,575. So, and if you go into Hot Springs Elementary, you will see their big graphs up for each grade level and what they're doing. The high school, their goal is 2,140. They've read 1,518, which is amazing.
Yeah.
For a high school group of kids to read that many books. Mars Hill Elementary, their goal was 2,175. So far, they've read 2,875. So they've surpassed their goal. And the early college, their goal is 1,235, and they've already read 904. Half their kids go to college classes. So for that to be happening, it's something to celebrate. So as of right now, we have read 12,405. So we have well surpassed that. So we'll be putting this on social media, sharing it with families. And our next goal moving forward is to celebrate those kids. And so we're trying to brainstorm the best way to, celebrate extra recess, get outside. I've heard ice cream socials. I've heard, I know Toby's done a great thing with the kids are putting a raffle for, if you turn in your bookmark, your name goes into a raffle, it's pulled out and you receive a little Starbucks card, I think. High schooler will do that for $5 at Starbucks. I mean, they're expensive drinks. So, they gave away, they've had free things. So, it's just a positive way as a district to really promote the love of reading. And we're reading all the time. And it's just showing us, the great work we're doing. So, we're really excited that this has happened. We've surpassed that goal. We'll see kind of where we're at. And we're just, look for this on social media. We'll be sharing lots of, the great things that we're doing and how we're celebrating this. So.
Really good job tracking and promoting this. And it's putting that goal out there, and kids have really responded.
They have.
And we didn't put the the incentives out there first, like
No.
limousine rides or cookies or whatever. It's really just been, and that's kind of a neat thing to keep building on for next year. Mr. Coates is over going, wow, this is really, so next year we could raise that number, right?
We'll be at $1 million.
Got $1 million, yeah. The next thing I want to present is an award, wonderful statewide award that, let me read a little bit about it and then get our recipient up here. The North Carolina School Superintendents Association and the North Carolina Alliance for School Leadership Development have announced the selection of Ms. Lisa Gahagan as a recipient of the Dr. Samuel Houston Leadership Award. This annual award is presented to a graduate of the North Carolina School Superintendents Association Aspiring Superintendent Program, a program which is designed to empower transformational education leaders for North Carolina's public schools. The award is named in honor of Dr. Samuel Houston, who is President and Chief Executive Officer of the North Carolina Science, Mathematics, and Technology Education Center. Dr. Houston served as superintendent of Mooresville Graded School District for 10 years, where he opened the first year-round school in North Carolina. Dr. Houston has been a champion for strategic planning, student performance, and accountability, meeting the needs of the 21st century workforce skills for the STEM world, and building education partnerships. Dr. Houston also served as the first executive director of the University of North Carolina Center for Leadership Development. Mr. Jack Hoke, executive director of the North Carolina School Superintendents Association, said that Lisa Gahagan exemplifies the traits that have guided Dr. Samuel Houston's career in educational leadership. She has a commitment to continuous improvement, high standards and ethical conduct, strategic planning, improving student performance, and meeting the needs of the 21st century workforce. While there are many reasons Lisa is deserving of this honor, I firmly believe that experience is the greatest teacher, and few embody that more fully than Lisa. Lisa spent years at the table, working tirelessly for students and staff, advocating courageously for our district and leading with strength through times of crisis. She understands people and operates effectively within the constraints that challenging situations present. So it comes as no surprise that Lisa, among 50 aspiring superintendents from across North Carolina, was selected for this honor. She is a true winner, and this award speaks to her ability to reflect on her practice, communicate effectively, and lead with purpose and intention. So congratulations to Lisa. So congratulations. I'll give this to you again. You'll be the second time you've received this. So congratulations. Proud of you. I'm going to get a picture
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Sandy. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So next up, the legislature will be going into session soon in April, and each year we have our legislative priorities that I like for everyone to see. Pass those around to our principals, and I want to be sure our public is aware of what we're focused on as a school district. And these are priorities I think that will resonate with everyone. So let me stand up here and go through these. We feel critical. We know that in terms of families and what families are really care about, of course, educational excellence, athletics, but also, safety is that key component for every family. So having school resource officers for every school is a funding priority for our district. We write grants for our school resource officers. We have funding through the county for our resource officers, but still it's not set funding. We feel like that this funding ought to be set for every school in North Carolina, that there be an SRO, a gun and a badge at each school. You drive up, you see the car, that's really critical to safety. Number two, and also in terms of safety, critical that we provide mental health personnel at nationally recommended ratios. School social workers, 1 to 250. School psychologists, 1 to 500. School counselors, 1 to 250. And school nurses, 1 per school. We should have those folks in each building, okay, that are supporting the needs of kids, the social emotional needs, and of course, work in tandem with principals, teachers, SROs. That they expand the school safety grants. Ms. Caldwell can comment, our school safety grants provided our SROs, they provided our keyless entry to our schools, which has been critical safety-wise for our schools. Our digital cameras, our blinds, just things that we've worked on each year. And we have other things. This year, that grant has not been opened up, as far as I can tell, but boy, has been critical to us in past years, so we're looking forward to that happening. That each principal and teacher pay, increase teacher and principal pay to reach the national average. Now North Carolina ranks at 43, according to 24-25 data. We'll see what happens with this year's data. But we would like to get teacher pay and principal pay to the national average. Increase funding allotment for all classified staff is critical. Bus drivers, that our clerical staff, our teacher assistants, cafeteria staff, that their salaries be increased as well. Provide a teacher assistant for each kindergarten through third grade classroom. Reinstate and fully fund advanced degree pay for teachers is critical. If you go get that master's degree, you should be paid at that master's level. Restore full retirement benefits and retirement insurance to all employees after 5 vested years. Now that's moved to 20 years. Before it was 5 years. So that's a big incentive for our folks in terms of recruitment in our staff. That needs to come back. Increased funding available for substitute teachers. Last year we probably spent, or this year, Michael, Lisa, well over $100,000. Yeah, $150 for substitute teachers. That is not in the budget. So someone gets sick, they need a sub. There are all kinds of things that come up. And so we need that to be funded within the budget. Provide additional support that fully funds ADM for children with disabilities. We talked a lot last year in the budget process about that baked-in gap of $500,000 for us between that 13% cap and the 18% ADM that we currently have. So that's true for all school districts. That funding gap really needs to be supported. Provide no-cost meals for all students. Prioritize growth in school performance grades. Ms. Gahagan just said we were going to get that growth for students. Kids come into our buildings at all levels. That academic growth piece is critical, but it's only 20% of the accountability grade. It's an 80-20 model that we're still in. Proficiency on integrate tests, 20% on academic growth. Most parents would like to see that their kids grow a year for a year's worth of instruction or more if they're behind. So that growth is critical to put a focus on academic growth. I believe everyone in this room sees the value of that. Hold harmless ADM-based funding and one-to-one device replacement funding, I think, is critical. There's no line item in the budget for technology, for example. So we have to go out and write grants for that or get that through local funding. So it's critical that we build that in. So we brought these out. I'm going to share these with our legislators and be sure they're part of our conversations with them. And we feel like these are the high priorities for us as a school district. All right.
All right, may I have a motion to adopt the following policies on the second reading? They have minor updates on them. 1300 governing principal parental involvement. 1500 governing principal safe, orderly, and inviting environment. 1600 governing principal professional development. 1700 governing principal removal of barriers. 1742 and 5060 responding to complaints. 1760 and 7280 prohibited against retaliation. 2500 hearings before a board option A. 4331 assaults and threats. 7100 recruitments and selection of personnel. 7335 employee use of social media. 7340 employee dress and appearance. 7820 personnel files, and 9210 care and maintenance of grounds and outdoor equipment. May I have a motion to adopt these on the following reading, on the second reading?
Make that motion to adopt on second reading.
Second. Any discussion? Really just like minor changes. All in favor? Thank you. All right,
you'll see we were up almost $1,000 this month, which is good, but for the overall year, we're still down about $8,300, what we collected was about 4 months ago. On your financial reports, we should be about 75%, so you'll see some over, some under, but we'll be analyzing all those as we get towards the end of the year. And then you also had 3 budget amendments for state, federal, and special revenue, and that was to record additional funds that the states, when they've been shoring up little bits of their budget here and there, so.
Thank you, sir. All right. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda of personnel, the 2026-2027 academic calendar draft, Madison County Schools Beginning Teacher Support Program Plan for March 2026, the contractual agreement, physical therapy services, and the budget amendments. May I hear a motion to approve this? The consent agenda.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right. Mr. Coates, do we have any business this day?
Sir, we got one?
Thank you, first of all, congratulations on beating the 10,000 books goal. Who says kids are not reading? We need to do a lot more of that. I want to talk to you a bit about celebration days in April. The March is almost over, along with Women's History Month, which I hope you're celebrating in the classroom in a meaningful way. And as we know, spring has been teasing us, unfortunately forcing more school schedule disruptions. Just can't imagine how that must be affecting you all. So let's hope April will allow for a normal schedule as it brings us beautiful spring flowers along with longer and warmer days. And there are several fun and meaningful days in April. Among them is Administrative Professional Day and Take Your Daughter to Work Day to help our children explore career opportunities in our workplace. I hope you'll consider that. Of course, we're all looking forward to Easter Sunday, but also watch out for April Fool's Day. Then we got Earth Day, there's Arbor Day, there's Find a Rainbow Day, there's a World Party Day, there's a Pajama Day, there's a Hairstylist Appreciation Day, there's a Tweed Day, there's a Burrito Day, there's an Oatmeal Cookie Day, there's a Deep Dish Pizza Day, there's a National Gummy Bear Day, and there's a Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. I hope you'll enjoy some of those. As for me, during April, I'll be enjoying fall in New Zealand with my wife to celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary, so I will miss the April Board of Education meeting. And I wonder, do I need a written excuse? Thank you. Yeah.
All right, under new business, you will see we've got, the local budget request. So may I have a motion to approve the local budget request?
I'll make that motion. We approve the local budget request.
Second? Second. Any discussion?